Yeah, man, we are back.
It's a smoke
Welcome
session.
to your favorite part. Look what he done did, man. Ron. Mother call Ron. Look what he got me fucking subjected to. You know what I'm saying, man? But sorry for the technical difficulties, y'all. We're a little behind.
Oh,
you know what it is. You're on episode 184, your favorite podcast, More Than the Title. I'm your host, as usual, Jarrett, Chief Revenue Officer, Outside the Box Digital. And we're going to introduce my brother, my brethren, your favorite CEO, Smoke Dog.
Yo, Snoop, you ain't got nothing on me.
Come on,
Snoop Dogg ain't got nothing on me.
It's not even.
Yo, Snoop, what's up? I take my love 66 to your weed smoke anytime. Let's battle for the biggest puff clouds.
Let's go live.
Nah, yo, ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is, man. We ain't here just having a good fucking time, man. You see all the smoke. I done smoked out the studio. You know what I'm saying?
This is what we subjected to. I love it. Only here.
I done smoked out the studio. You know what I'm saying? But listen, man, I'm grateful and thankful. You know what it is. We start the show every show the same exact way.
Absolutely.
I just want to tell y'all something, man. I'm still hype off the Super Bowl. I'm not going to lie, man. So I'm going to do my grateful and thankful to say I am grateful to be able to be alive in this moment and have been able to witness that type of performance and history being made. There's just certain things in history. Obviously, everybody can't be a part of certain monumental moments, but I'm glad that I was able to see a couple monumental moments in my lifetime. First black president, you know what I'm saying? Motherfucking Kendrick tear down the Super Bowl stage and things like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so listen, man, GNT, grateful to be here, grateful to be doing the podcast yet again. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we've been brainstorming all day. You know what I'm saying? The team been working all day, and I'm happy, man, because we this show is getting better and better, and we got a lot of good things for y'all in the workings.
Absolutely.
And I'm grateful for the supporters and all the fans that are sticking by us, and I'm super thankful for all the guests that continue to support us. Without any hassle, right? Without any begging, without any payola, you know what I mean? All we do is ask, or they ask to come on the show, and we bring them on the show, and we have phenomenal guests, man. So GNT once again, man, phenomenal.
Yeah, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to our bro, man, returning guest, family of the show, man.
Fact, man.
Brother, man. So we've got so many stories with this brother, man. So last year when you seen him on the show, he came through, man. We had a great interview. It was actually our first interview of 2024.
Yeah, was it really?
It was our first interview of 2024.
Copy.
Kicked off 2024. Y'all seen what we did after that, man. It was a great interview.
Yeah.
We met at Black Week, man. We chopped it up, man. We speak all the time, man. And we had to get bro back on because he's still doing incredible shit. But if you don't know, let's give him the background, right?
Right.
So he's a powerhouse in brand strategy and marketing. This brother's the CMO and founder of ESPAT. He's built his career driving growth for global brands, from leading business development at Sony BMG to spearheading groundbreaking campaigns at Gucci under Tom Ford directly. His impact spans from music, fashion, sports, entertainment. He's worked with Mercedes-Benz, Nintendo, Sprite, WWE, and more, and manages a 45+ million portfolio top tier brands, y'all.
Wow.
Y'all know what it is, man. It's our brother. You've seen him at Black Week.
That's a fact.
You've seen him at Super Bowl.
That's a fact.
You've seen him at Lil Louisiana.
That's a fact.
You've seen him all over, and you're going to see him everywhere. But he's back here today at your favorite podcast. Let's introduce our brother, Dante Simpson, y'all.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure and an honor. Listen, man, let me tell you something. I say anybody can be a CEO, but there's only one Chadeo. And my brother Jarrett, I appreciate y'all, man. It's so good to be back and good to see you.
Well,
I
smoked out the room. They had to take the
He's like,
shades
I can't
off.
see you.
I can't even see you, dog. I done smoked out the room. The shades is too dark in this episode, man.
you know when you talk to our folk, you got to make sure that fire alarm ain't beeping in the back, so you got the battery in it. So I know y'all good. good.
We good. I'm about to get the fan.
Nah, you need it. I like it. It's a special effects. Man. You gotta do what you gotta do with what you got.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yes, sir.
But bro, man, we appreciate you, bro, man. We appreciate you coming back through, man. I know we got a lot to talk about, man. Yeah. Where do you want to start off, man? I know you was just down there in New Orleans, man. Let's talk about how that experience was.
It was. There's no city like New Orleans, right? So it's like it's funny because they come with the people. They come with the food, they come with the energy, the brass bands, the everything. And I always say, if you go down to New Orleans and somebody didn't say, "Hey, baby," then you ain't do it right. You weren't talking to the right people. So that accent down there is everything. the energy down there, the people down there is everything. And it's crazy. You know, you were obviously talking, Chadeo, you know, Super Bowl and everything that was going on down there, but they just released the numbers. So now we're seeing the numbers to actually know that it was the most viewed Super Bowl ever.
Most viewed.
Yeah, so it's amazing. They were at 123.7 last year. This year they're at 127.7. So they're up 4 million people and still counting. So just seeing what's going on and the energy that they bring to a city is unbelievable. And obviously that halftime show was everything. I get to learn about people by what they thought of that halftime show. That tells me a lot about what you know about hip hop and what you know about the culture, how you respond to it. So
you OG, big bro. What was your, like? What was the energy like in the building?
Yeah, it was crazy.
What was the energy like? You know, it seemed like we had OG on Unc on yesterday. He said it was like you just see the tension in the building from watching it from home. He said it was a lot of contradictions. I kind of agree with him. Did it felt like that, or you know what I mean, on the ground?
Yeah, no, it was definitely a lot going on in the room. You had the energy of not knowing what was coming. We've heard a lot about lawsuits and issues with halftime shows and performances and songs. So you didn't know anything in the room as well. I mean, listen, Philly fans are crazy, right? So Philly fans are absolutely insane. And then you had the Kansas City movement as well. So there was just a lot going on in the room, and you didn't know what to expect any way that you looked, whether it was just fan interaction, you know what I'm saying, whether it was halftime show and music. It was just a lot going on. But I actually thought, and I'll say this to you, it starts to seem like the Super Bowl gets very corporate when it goes to certain cities.
That's a fact.
New Orleans seemed like the fans were in there. It was a different feeling with regard, and we've seen it. They've priced out, you know, accessibility to folks where you can't attend just on pricing. And I'm sure that if you were just scrolling your timeline on anything, whether it was TikTok, whether it was the gram, whatever it was, you were seeing a lot of people in the building. You know, you were like, damn, everybody's there this year. It felt like this was the year that was open to real fans and people who really want to support the culture. That's what made this year different than prior years. Fire,
man. Shit, I'm gonna have to ask you now. You ain't gotta give me the breakdown of the performance, but where did you rank it versus the all times?
I'm gonna tell you, this is one of the rare performances that keeps getting better with time. You know what I'm saying? It's only been a couple of days, but if your boots on ground, for example, you don't get that overhead view. So you're not really seeing what you're seeing at home. You get the produced element where he was able to map it out and make sure that you saw these things that in the room you may not have seen. So there's a perspective that comes with that. That's like, as you continue to learn everything that he was doing, it keeps getting better. So if you're talking to me about production value, I can tell you some that had better production value. If you're asking me what had meaning, we're talking about a Pulitzer Award winner. You know what I'm saying? So he crafted a Basquiat, you know what I'm saying? But you had to understand, I was talking to people around me and I was like, I have to explain to you what you're seeing because you don't know what you're seeing because you don't know the history. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of people.
And I'm going to say this to you because I said this to somebody about it. I said, it's funny. He's got a song called Not Like Us that half of America is singing, not realizing that they're the people that he's talking about.
Yeah, that's a message.
That's a message right there, Doc.
That's crazy, right? He's actually got you singing a song about yourself because you're not like, and all of the people that said that it was terrible, you're missing it. You're missing what he was there to do. His mission was different. You thought, you thought he was there to entertain you. He was there to educate you. But we like such entertainment that we miss the education.
Miss the education.
Yes, sir.
Is there time and a place for both? Right? Is that the stage for, you know what I'm trying to say? It depends on what audience you're trying to reach. I thought it was brilliant.
My thing is when you get the time to shine, brother, shine. Listen, here's the thing. Certain opportunities only come once in a lifetime. Absolutely. He's been blessed to actually be on that stage twice in the last 5 fucking years.
That's crazy.
So again, that's an opportunity that some of the biggest artists in the world can never say, right? That I've been on that Super Bowl stage twice in 5 years, right?
Correct. Let me take you back though.
Yeah.
He was on with Beyonce when Beyonce did hers, he was on with her. We gonna be all right. And then he
you're absolutely. I totally forgot about that.
Then he was on with the West Coast one.
The West Coast one is the one I was talking about. So I totally forgot that he did the Beyonce. So that's 3 times in under 10 years that he's been on that stage. No other artist can even think about saying something like that.
And each one was incredibly original. When he was on with Beyonce, it was in the water, like a little, water to the feet or what have you.
Yeah.
He was performing that way. But he's done it 3. And that's incredible when you think about it.
See what I'm saying? I totally forgot that he actually came out with Beyonce.
Yeah.
But again, so let's just think about that statement. He had his own show, but 2 other artists that had the opportunity to have the main stage to themselves decided that not only am I going to do my show, but he is so relevant that, of course, not knowing that he's eventually going to get his own platform to do the show, but they felt like I have to have him a part of my performance because it's no way I'm doing this without. That is one hell of a statement.
That is right.
Beyonce is pure R&B. He's a rapper. He's a political rapper, cultural rapper. She had him on. Then you had the rappers have him on. And you understand what I'm saying? Like this, it just shows you what his contribution is to hip hop is undeniable at this point.
It's funny because I always say he's necessary.
Yeah.
In a room full of noise, he's necessary. And that's the beauty of recognizing a brother that's needed. His voice was needed in this moment. For him to actually subtly be talking to the president while he's standing in the middle of a flag divided. While the president is in the room, you know what I'm saying? Like just little things that he did, you know what I mean? That was really interesting. That when you understand it, it just makes so much more sense. And that's why I say he's necessary.
Absolutely.
That Uncle Sam was the blackest shit I've ever seen. I love that shit.
Right.
You got the blackest, you got the blackest dude in America. I love that shit, man. See Uncle Sam like that, Sam Jackson on there. Yep. That was just a great look, man, all around, man. But so you looking at it from a couple of different perspectives, bro. So one, you're there enjoying the game, but you also had ads that were playing during the game, right? You could tell us a little bit about those, bro?
Correct. So it was a beautiful opportunity. There were 2 NFL commercials that ran during that time, and just to be able to get response in real time. I remember growing up and the commercials was part of the show. You know what I mean? You waited to see it's funny nowadays we can see the commercials in advance. You know what I'm saying? When we were young, you had to wait for I could see I saw the commercials a week ago. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Prior to. So that takes away a little bit of the excitement of the commercial component, but it's understanding what in this case the NFL was looking for. And then just bringing that to life, right? So what does it look like when they come to you and give you words and you got to paint a canvas with those words? So when you have the opportunity to work with kids, that's always a good thing. When working with the NFL, I want to give a shout out to the studio partners as well at 72 and Sunny. Their founder is on our board, and he's a strong advocate for opening doors, but. That you guys are aware. Every year, USA Today does a ranking. There were 57 commercials this year, from pregame to the game to the postgame, and of those 57, a black studio has never ranked in the top 10. There's only been 2 black studios that have ever done Super Bowl commercials ever previously.
You said only 2 black studios ever?
Yeah, black owned, black led studios ever. Yeah, 2 ever.
That's crazy.
That have actually done Super Bowl commercials. So to see that, and then have 2 commercials that come in at number 5 and number 6 on the USA Today ad meter is unbelievable. Fire. It's unbelievable. I mean, people don't get one. So if you haven't seen them, one of the ads is called Flag 50. So if you pull up Flag 50, you'll see it. The other one is listed under somebody, but it's supposed to be I am somebody.
I am somebody, right?
Yep. So those are the 2 that you want to look for. And, obviously what does it look like when we're behind the camera telling stories? And a lot of people resonated with it, and we couldn't be more proud. We're still on, cloud 9 from that opportunity. And what ends up happening is oftentimes folks look for a reason not to work with you in the future. But when you've got the numbers to support the talent, it becomes something that we hope opens doors for so many other agencies and folks.
Well, if it doesn't open doors, what it does is it brings to the light their clear and concise biasness towards you. You see what I'm saying? Because when you try to use an excuse that we underperform, that's one of the key excuses, right? Underperform, right? Oh, well, your products don't do as well, or your shows don't do as well, whatever, blah, blah, blah. When you always try to use the excuse that our material is not performing as well as their material, and when we beat those numbers now, when you don't deal with us or do business with us or whatever the case may be, and see, Dante, you got the other podcast calling. No, you cannot get Dante on the show. We're not plugging you in. We keep telling y'all, connect on your own. We're not plugging you in. He's our brother.
My number don't even work. My number don't work.
Yo, Dante, I'm gonna use your man's line. I'm gonna use your man's line. Because your man Will Benson was like, he's my friend. He's not your fucking friend. Dante's our fucking friend. He's not your fucking friend. You got to get him on your own, you motherfuckers. We're not plugging you in.
Can't do it.
You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm talking about, Dante. They always try to use a fucking excuse to try to diminish what we do, right? Even though everything that they do technically is based off of and built off of what the fuck we've done anyway. to give you that. You understand what I'm saying? So, I'm just elated, and I didn't know those stats, but I'm so elated to hear that 2 black companies were able to just go out there and start breaking down these barriers, because we need that nowadays, because what's happening now, obviously, is they're trying to push us back so far, right? And they're trying to just change the narrative on so many things that they're trying to make it seem like we don't contribute anything and we're not relevant, which we all know is not true. You know what I'm saying? So,
it always gets a little bit better when we're able to talk to their audiences, because we now know that we control narratives, right? So, like I said, there was 2 in the history prior to this year. There was 2, and both of them were us. You know what I mean? So it's just it becomes a thing where there wasn't in the history of any more than 2, and now we're the 3rd, but we've got 2 in 1 year, and definitely, like you said, now it starts to expose. You know what I mean? Like, what are we going to do next year? What is this? This is year number 2 in some capacity. Working with the league. So I can say that there has been consistency. One of the beautiful things, and you guys know what we did last year with Nickelodeon. And SpongeBob and Patrick. So to be able to come back off of the heels of that and come back with something even stronger and continue to break records, because that's really what this is it's just creating something that didn't exist and creating it better. One time over another, and that's what happened. I mean, we talked Simpsons we talked SpongeBob originally, and since then we came back and did the Simpsons on week 14, the Dallas Cowboys against the Cincinnati Bengals. So
fire.
So they keep opening opportunity. We gonna keep taking it. We gonna keep walking through and doing it for our folks. I'll be honest with you, and I'm gonna say this to you. We've wanted to have our story told. So, and I'm gonna actually say names. They say that you shouldn't say names, but I'll say names. Forbes was supposed to tell the story, and Ad Age was supposed to tell the story, and I can keep going. Black Enterprise was supposed to tell the story, and the Hollywood Reporter was supposed to tell these stories that we're talking about right now, and
crazy.
Timelines didn't happen, and this didn't happen, and that didn't happen. And after a while, I started saying to myself, why do I need them to tell a story when I can talk to Chadeo and Jarrett? You know what I'm saying? Why do we constantly
message?
You slipping. Come on, Doc.
Message. The message that was.
I was about to stop you before. I'm like, you cooking the Doc.
We got
I looked over there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got our executive producer's not executive producing right now. Like, D-Dot, what's up, man? Like,
and you guys know me. I'm always one to try to connect dots for folks. But
that's a fact. That's a fact.
And I often say I don't know why we do that, and I get caught up sometimes even doing like, oh, I'm about to get this blah 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 look, you know what I'm saying, ink look, and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, why are we constantly looking for that? You know, I wanted to break news elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? I was going to break news elsewhere, and I was sitting and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna break news with my people. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we're going to do that, and we're gonna share stuff that is not out in the public yet. And I'm gonna share it with you today for the very first time. So we're gonna tease that. So everybody tuning in, they tune in. We're gonna break some serious national news that's not out there. And actually we'll do a tease of 2. So I'll get one right now. Why not?
Yeah. Let's do it. Yeah. Before you even go, man, we're gonna give you your flowers, bro. Like real talk. No, so everybody listening, to give him context, right? Like Dante is a person that is exactly who he say he is.
That's
as far as open doors. Like, so to give you the Black Week, we'll keep it all the way funky.
Yep.
Right? Like, so bro, we sitting there rocking. We work in the room at Black Week. We got the cameras going. We shaking hands, kissing babies. We see Dante, like, yo, what up, bro? Da da da. They introduced us, came through right through yo. Now let me introduce us to Rohan.
That's without hesitation.
Without hesitation. It wasn't no, bro. This is my brothers right here. This is Jarrett and Chadeo. And anybody he's ever put us on to has been the same way. And it's vice versa, it's reciprocal. It's been things that we've done behind the scenes. We've both interviewed the same people. We'd be like, yo, bro, you guys meet him. As soon as we get off the phone, we're going to introduce you to Lewis Williams. He's the one who came on. He's the ad OG. Came on yesterday. Said your ad. I was like, hold on. I am somebody. Like, that's the shit that I'm like, that's bro. A fact. And we didn't even bring it up. It just casually came in the conversation.
Right.
So for somebody with 7 Super Bowl commercials under his belt to say that was it. Come on, so we want to give you a flower. Thank you for being you, bro. Like, even want to break bread with us and you know, share your story. Because it's bullshit that Black Enterprise, Hollywood Reporter, all these other people ain't trying to do it when it's Black excellence. It's bullshit.
But I agree with Dante 100%, right?
Mm-hmm.
The problem is we keep relying on these agencies to validate us. See, here's the thing.
There you go.
What makes Forbes? Because everybody goes to Forbes, right? But when everybody stops going to Forbes, then Forbes will lose their luster. They will lose their value. They will lose their appeal, right? So I think it's a very simple concept. All we have to start doing, which so many other coaches do, and I just don't understand why we're not doing it, is what Dante's doing right now. I'm not taking my shit to all these other agencies. I'm taking this shit to my brothers who got their own platform, Black owned, and we're going to start pumping all this shit through the Black owned thing. Now, once it blows up, 1, we got the exclusive. 2, if you want more, now you have to come to these platforms that now feed back into the community. See, that's what we're missing right there.
Message.
Right there. That's why the loop is not continuous for us, and the loop is always broken, because yes, we create dope things, but the moment, like the bounce of a dollar, right, Dante? The moment we get some money, we don't fucking funnel it back into our own businesses. We go spend it with other businesses, right? So it immediately leaves. But the moment we start funneling it back into our own businesses and start championing our own businesses, and I'm not saying, be clear, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not saying the only reason, let's be clear, the only reason that Dante is comfortable enough with sharing breaking news with us and introducing us to people, celebrities and influential people, is because he has already been certified.
That's
a testament to how we move. He knows how we move. He knows how we carry ourselves. And he knows that if he gives us this opportunity, we are not going to fucking drop the ball. That's why. So once again, it's not about just any Black business or brown business. It's about providing a business, right, that can stand up to the test, that can say, no, we carry ourselves a certain way. We are worthy of the opportunity. When you're given the opportunity, that way we're not wasting it.
That's a fact.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's a fact.
And you know what's funny? Folks are envious, right? They're afraid to introduce you to somebody because they're afraid that they're going to lose that relationship. But I always feel like this. There's 2 things about that. Everybody knows I went to Ohio State. You guys introduced me to Greg Oden.
That's a fact.
Larry introduced me to Greg Oden. I had him on my show.
Right.
It's a layup.
We work that way. So it's like you said, it's reciprocal in the way that we connect. But here's the reality. You guys are so good at what you do. I can't take your relationship. But if you introduce me to something and if I'm equally as good as what you do, it's actually going to amplify your relationship with somebody else because they're going to trust when you tell them you got to talk to my man. They're going to be like, oh, I need to talk to him because last time you put me on with somebody and, you know, we making money.
That's a fact.
People, it works both ways. People aren't secure in their own talent. And they're not secure in their relationship with the people that they introducing because they know the people ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's a fact.
Somebody's gonna fumble the ball, and now you're afraid that you're both gonna look bad because they fumbled the ball. And that's where we've got to understand our own network. Is your network right? Because if you got people that's fumbling the ball, you shouldn't be talking and doing business. Now that may be your boy. You can still cool with him. I love you, but we ain't gonna do business. You know what I'm saying? But if you got people in your circle that's solid, that you know, I'm at a 7 with this relationship. I'm gonna introduce you because I know you're gonna take it through the roof, and that's only gonna make me a 9 because they're gonna value my opinion now more.
That's a fact.
They get it twisted because they're not right. I know I'm right. I can introduce y'all to anybody, and I don't have no problems because I'm good.
Never had a problem.
And vice versa with you guys. What you're doing, you're good. And that's where we gotta. When you put in those 10,000 hours, you become an expert at what you do. And then you don't have to worry about the foolishness and the fuckery. You understand what I'm saying? We can get right down to business. So that's what I love about you guys, and I hope that you feel the same about me. But it's definitely
not
in our class.
But you're a rare breed, Dante, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, you're a rare breed. You're a rare breed, and again, that we I know we say we appreciate you, but we truly want you to understand how much we appreciate you for being a man of your word. Because there's so many fucking suckers out there. And I'm not, I don't bite my tongue. There's so many suckers out there that say one thing and do the complete opposite. Yo, you made calls immediately right after you came on the show.
That's a fact.
I mean, in the green room, like, nah, this was dope. I'm calling 2-3 other people that you got to have on the show immediately. This is what I'm talking about, right? We can't complain about we not getting the opportunities. We not getting the looks. When we're not helping each other to get the opportunities and getting the looks. And then when we're given the opportunity to do so, we fumble the ball. You understand what I'm saying? Anybody that's seen us at Black Week, you can't even mention. And Black Week was phenomenal. Shout out to everybody that put together Black Week. But the bottom line is you can't even mention Black Week without mentioning more than the title. It's fucking impossible. Yeah. It is fucking impossible because what we did at Black Week
was crazy.
It now becomes synonymous with the event as a whole. You understand what I'm saying? Yep, so that's what we're talking about. We showed up for 4 days and we put in that work for 4 days straight. No complaining, like no nothing.
Dante said. The reason why we were afforded that opportunity was because the bro and the sis trusted us enough to say,
that's the fact.
We know they got it. They get it.
That's the fact.
They get it. And they're going to pull up and they're going to do what they need to do.
That's
and we did that. And that's why we appreciative of every opportunity.
That's a fact.
And we show love. Make sure y'all check out 2025.
Yeah.
Because we're going to make this happen, man.
Yeah.
But the real thing is, though, you said 2 companies out of 57 ads. 2 black companies, black company produced, right? Like, how do we change that, right? So now that you being in 5 and 6, like, how does that open the doors for the next ones up that want to do the same thing? Because I feel like it's very relationship based.
It is still relationship based, but it's also talent driven. And you want to make sure that you've got the talent to support the relationship. And that's what we're talking about right now, right?
Right.
Black Week, Walt and the crew over there could have put you in the room, but if you fumbled it, then, you know what I'm saying? Now, look, but thankfully this year we didn't fumble it for the next crew, you know what I'm saying? But work that relationship and let talent speak for itself. And that's where we've got to find, and everybody uses the word allies. You've got to find that person that's willing to open the door for you and let your talent speak and be compensated accordingly for that talent, because we've seen how budgets are allocated when they come to black studios versus when they go to non-black studios. So we want to, and you guys see that, I'm sure, when you're out.
Absolutely.
What does $1 look like when they give $1 to a black creative versus when they give $1 to a non-black creative? So we want to push that envelope as well too. So it's not just getting the opportunity, it's understanding that our creatives know their worth. Because You can go in and ask for $100,000 a year job, not knowing that job was paying 150, and you may be happy with 100, and they're happy that you're happy with 100 because you didn't know, and we need to know, and that is the beauty sometimes of sitting at the table with certain people, is that you get to see how they were paid, so you understand how you need to be paid, because you may have been asking for $100,000 and you should have been asking for 250 and didn't even know. So that's definitely a big part.
Preaching, bro. But how do you, as a Black creator, right? We talk to a lot of Black creators about their worth and knowing the value of their talent, right? A lot of Black brands don't. Like you said, we don't talk to enough creators. Don't talk to each other, right? So, say for you, you don't have to give us a dollar amount. If the NFL comes to you, I'm a Black-owned agency, right? How do I make sure I'm getting the same value that they would give to a McCann, a fucking Wyden and Kennedy, all these other big shops? How do you know you're getting the same brand? I mean, the same value.
So part of what we do, what we did early, and I think I said this to you once before, Jarrett, just in conversation. When you come from where we come from and you move, somebody moves to the BX and they're not from, they're from Atlanta. Where we come from, you either need to have a big homie, you need to be funny, you need to play sports and be and connect and build your community that way. We understand that when we go into new communities that we have to enter a certain way if we want to obtain a certain thing. What we did as a business is we said, we're going to go get some big homies that know. And we went and got big homies that didn't look like us so that we could understand how they were negotiating. And then we then stepped away. So our first big homie was Ridley Scott. So we went and got Ridley Scott, the Hollywood director. That was our first big homie. And he and his son Jake were showing us, this is what you were getting. We had a TV show, and the TV show was offering us 8 figures. And for the series, we ended up going back in there with Steven Spielberg. And that same group, nothing changed, not the cast, not the script, nothing changed. They almost multiplied that number. And we didn't know. And they smiled at us and was like, man, you did great. And I'm looking at them. They don't realize I'm looking at them like, wait, hold on. You offered us this and acted like this was all you had. We came in here with one other person and it changed the entire. So I think understanding that and we've gotten leveraged for a long time, but we've never leveraged back. So we always say, oh, these social media platforms, they wouldn't work without us. We're the creators. How are we leveraging against that to then go start our own? You know what I'm saying? To then go do something about it other than just talking about it. And that's what we decided to do from the infancy. We built our brand deciding that we wanted to understand what everyone else was getting. And then we went to business. Do you guys know 90% of Black businesses only have one employee? It's actually over 90. It's more like 95 to 96% of Black
owner operators. That's the whole owner operator.
Yep. Sole operator, sole proprietor.
Right.
It's a one-person shop. We don't even have a team, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? You're breaking the mold just because you got you two gentlemen, your production team, and the people that are behind the scenes. You're already up on 90% of the people that have LLCs, that have Incs, S Corps, what have you, that have businesses, because most of them are a one-person, one-stop shop. And it's how do we scale and build? And how do we build in other communities so that we understand what they're getting? I never was a supporter of this is going to sound strange, so I have to explain it. I was never a supporter of DEI. And I'll tell you why. Because I always
it does sound strange. I ain't gonna hold you.
I didn't expect that.
I wasn't expecting that.
No, I've never been.
What are you talking about?
People that know me know that I've been saying it for a long time, but let me tell you why. When I go to a Fortune 500 company and I talk to a COO and I say, how many employees do you have? At a big company, they'll say thousands.
Right.
Yeah. A mid-sized company, they'll say hundreds. When I ask the CMO how large is his staff? Hundreds, thousands. When I ask CTOs at tech companies, hundreds, thousands. When I asked the chief diversity officer how big their staffs were, it was like 6 people.
Right.
They gave titles, but never gave power.
Message.
Hey,
You gotta be ready, Hayes. He's going on.
I'm about to log in on the secondary account. Hayes.
Stay ready, so we gotta get ready. Stay ready.
He said, stay so you ain't gotta get. I got it. But that's the problem, is that we got so excited with the C-suite that we didn't understand that in actuality, the strength is the power. And if you're not at the table, we know, even in the music industry, if I were to say to you, what's the most important department in the music industry, in general, people are going to say the A&R department, because they identify the talent that then makes the money. So what are the money generating departments in a company? Back office accounting usually isn't an important role unless it's a CPA firm. You know what I'm saying? If I'm going to Nike,
marketing.
Yeah, exactly. If I'm going to Nike, they don't care. They don't care about the accountants. They care about
marketing, branding. Who's our data insights, our market research team?
Right.
Exactly. All of that is money driving, money generating things. So I used to ask diversity officers, are you at the table when they're creating the marketing strategy? Are you at the table when they're creating the target market for the sales strategy? Because usually in a lot of these entertainment spaces or sporting spaces, the commodity is us, but you're not at the table as the chief diversity officer. Why is that? Because you can speak to us better than they can, but they don't, they may not see it that way. But I look at it and I say, it's a title, but it should be more than a title. And in theory,
Hayes, how you miss?
He let me slide. Message. I tried to hit that ball. I was waiting.
You get the baby. They're supposed to get the screaming baby, Hayes.
Yes,
be ready.
He's throwing a layup. This big bro, he's trained
right there.
He's trained for this shit.
Oh my God. Dante, that doesn't.
Some of them, all right, cool, but he's going up. Give him a little space. But
hold on. When he drops a shameless plug like that,
that was a windy alley-oop.
I saw him coming from the fucking half court like this.
That was Curry from behind the basket.
Oh, God. Sorry, audience. We love y'all, man. Dante, you going crazy.
It's all good.
Dante has had media training, ladies and gentlemen. He has had proper
he's giving y'all
training.
game. Y'all hope y'all listening. listening. Straight up.
No, but it's all love, man. It's all love. We got a few more for him. I know he's gonna roll with us. We got a few more for him.
He awake now. He awake now. Yeah, there 2 of them, but he awake now. He good.
You know what it is? He's just used to fact checking. You know what I'm saying? He's used to fact checking. So he was waiting for a fact to come up so he could Google it in 30 seconds and make sure that it's right before we give out the information. So he's too much fact. Right. So it's moving too fast for him. So we gotta speed him up a little with his new role. You know what I'm saying? I love it though. No, but you know what? Dante, I think the best thing that anybody in this world can ever do is really, truly have a conversation with people that are really intelligent.
That's a fact.
It truly opens up your mind to different ways of thinking. You understand what I'm saying? Not that you can't be intelligent and know the things that you know in your certain area, but it's like sports, playing basketball on the block. You could be the best on your block, but get a false sense of how good you are because you've never left the block. Nah. But the moment you go to somebody else's block, you get your ass handed to you. Facts. And then you look like a motherfucker that shouldn't even have got off the bench, and you wondering why, because you never had that diversity. You never had those different experiences to make you up your game. Yeah. See, I wasn't expecting you to say DEI, but when you break it down like that, it makes perfect fucking sense.
It does, bro. A lot of them, like you said, they go for the title. A lot of them don't want a seat at the table. They have their seat at the table. If they're not asking the tough questions to the CMO, the CEO, if you just C-suite, I used to see, I'm gonna keep it real, a lot of tech companies specifically, there would be C-suite. Diversity would not be up there, but your chief diversity officer, you're not even on the the picture. They saying you got Bob up there, you got this one up there, Tanya's up there, but you're not up there. You're not up there. Why is that? So it makes you think, and it trickles down. So when you talk about ERG programs and all that shit that's supposed to be a resource for the Black employees, it feels funny. That's why we don't even go to it. So it's like shit. I gotta make an ERG. I gotta come with a program, try to highlight us, create a safe space. But there ain't no fucking safe space at this organization. Because if I do one thing that's halfway niggerish, I'm out of here.
Message. And you take a look at the spend. Like, look, what is the budget that they give away in not give away, but what's the aligned budget that you're working with every year? And it's you got 3 million, but this other group over here has got 88 million. It's like but you gotta work, you gotta make 3 or 4 million work. And now when we start talking about DEI from a hiring practice, equality perspective, I believe in that wholeheartedly.
Sure.
Obviously, that's obvious. I would never say that I don't believe in folks getting hired that are supposed to get hired for somebody who is lesser qualified than, because that's what was happening. And that was the reason for equal opportunity or equal employment opportunities and DEI. It's just to ensure that folks got an opportunity. You look at football.
There's a chance.
Yeah, the Rooney Rule, black coaches weren't even getting interviewed. You know what I'm saying? So I have to create a rule so that folks get interviewed. I understand all of that, but but there has to be a moment in time where folks are qualified, pay them, let them do their job and get out of the way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Whatever you want to call that, you can call it whatever you want. But I do know that I've seen a lot of situations under the DEI era where I feel like we weren't empowered, we weren't emboldened, we were just entitled. You know what I'm saying? That was
well, I mean, that the key thing to that is we're set up to fail. Plain and simple, right? They set us up to fail. Mm-hmm. And I Dante, let me give you a funny. I'm gonna give you a funny example about that, Dante. I did construction for 22 years, right? One of the last jobs I did was the MoMA expansion project, right? Museum of Modern Art. You know what I'm saying? By Fifth Avenue, by Radio City Music Hall. We built the building. We was expanding it. I was one of only 2 Black supervisors, right, in the entire production process of building this building and renovating this project, right? I remember a meeting. So the meeting was next door, 56th floor, whatever, in the high rise where their office was. I go up in the meeting. The other Black guy is actually from like Africa. You understand? He's like from an African country. So, it's a difference between us, right?
Yep.
Long story short, I get up in there. It's only me and him in there. And they're like bombarding me with, yo, why you didn't do this and why you didn't do that and why you didn't do this and why you didn't do that. The very first thing I said was, first of all, I don't have any blueprints. Nobody forwarded me any plans. I don't have any type of information on the structure, who goes first, what needs to be done, anything. But they're like, well, we emailed your project manager. I said, I'm not my fucking project manager. I'm the man on the job. Here's my email. Send it to me right now. They sent it to me right now. See, what they were doing was testing me, right? Once I got it, I pulled it up on the big screen and said, now, what do you want me to do? Or why you didn't do this and do that? And I'm like, well, why would I do this and do that when if I do this and do that, doesn't he have to do ABC? They're like, yeah. So if I do this and he has to do ABC, then I would have to undo what I do for him to now do what he needs to do, right? And once they understood that, one, I understood how to read prints, and 2, I knew what the fuck that I was talking about, right? As a superintendent, that I was educated and not just like a token Black person put in that position. Their whole attitudes changed. I said, so let me tell you how this is supposed to run. I'm not doing nothing until he does what he needs to do. He does what he needs to do, and it gets approved. That way, I'm not doing double the work, right? And that's what I'm talking about, right? So you knew that I was on the job because I was on the job for weeks before we had that meeting. You understand? You could have easily forwarded me the plans. You could have easily asked me, did I have a set of the plans and the schematics, etc., but you didn't. You waited to the point where we was in a big enough room where you thought that you could embarrass me, right? To show that once again that our intelligence level is not where it needs to be. But what we have to do is, when we're in these rooms and we're getting these opportunities, we have to conduct ourselves accordingly. Now, I could have played angry Black guy, But no, I didn't, right? I played educated black guy, right? And I took the steps and I conducted myself accordingly to show them not only do I know what I'm doing, but I can actually show them what they're doing wrong to get the job done properly. After that point, everything flowed smoothly.
I'll say they hate that.
Nothing they did, but it was nothing that they could do about it because they knew that I was absolutely right. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying, Dante. I agree with you 100%. But I truly believe that a lot of us that are qualified are not getting the looks. And I keep preaching that. A lot of us that are qualified are not getting the opportunities to showcase our abilities and our attributes to do the job properly.
And just for clarity, before your audience starts coming for me, that part of DEI I wholeheartedly believe in. So if you're selling a product, and now you can't get your product on the shelf at your local grocery store because they're not, they're closing, and it says no gatekeeping. Exactly. They're gatekeeping your product out. Thank you, Tiffany. They're gatekeeping your product out. That's where I see DEI as being a value, where they're mandating and saying that you need to carry 15% of shelf space. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
20% shelf space. But I also often say, we as Black folks also have to realize, and I'm going to test you guys real quick, who is the number one benefactor as far as a gender and race of people from DEI? Who benefits the most?
White women. White women.
So we are fighting for a situation where if they get rid of DEI, these white women are still going to get the job. And if they keep DEI, the white women are going to get the jobs that we were supposed to get, that we fought civil rights. Now, there was women's suffrage. Women did march and women did fight. I would never take that away from anybody. That is a fact. We had dogs sicked on us and water hoses. With what we went through and the fight that we went through, and everyone who was able to walk through the door once we kicked it in. But the reality, and these are elements of DEI, because it's not only who gets the most of the pie, it's also the other end of that spectrum. And I often say to folks, do you know who gets the least percentage of DEI? And that's where it gets interesting, because it's Black people. Black people get the least amount of DEI accessibilities, fundings, and so on and so forth.
Absolutely.
So when I say, not fully believing in DEI, until we flip that upside down, we flip that funnel, then, that's where I'm like, just give us what we deserve. We're not begging y'all. Just give us what we deserve and get out the way. Because every single one of us, our parents said, you got to work twice as hard to get. Say, all of us heard that. I don't care where you were raised. We heard that same thing. And
this motherfucker don't miss.
No, he's fucking.
Your phone, Hayes.
And that's a fact. Where we just need to, we need what we deserve and what we've earned. And I'm at that stage of, we're not begging no more. We need what we earned and what we deserved, and that's it. You know what I'm saying?
That's a big fact. We gotta just take it at this point, man.
That's my attitude, and I'm not, Dante. I'm a rebel, Dante.
Okay.
I'm not even being funny. And the older I get, the more I just don't fucking care about being a rebel. You understand? I'm tired of asking, Dante. I'm tired of begging. I'm tired of asking, because, again, one of the most famous sayings that we repeat on this show all the time is Black people negotiate for money, white people negotiate for power. Yes. We are confused what is the greater of the two. See, we think money is the greater of the two, when it's actually the power that's the greater of the two. And I'm tired of asking, right? Because, see, power and opportunity is not given. It's fucking taken.
Yeah.
It's taken. And the problem is, I feel like we are too afraid, once again, to take back what we feel like is ours, because we feel like, we're going to get backlash. We're going to get blacklisted. We're going to get all this shit. But then I turn around and go,
man, you know what it is. And Dante, you know what it is too. You know what we challenge people at Black Week to do? Follow-ups. You know how many follow-ups we heard from? Not many.
But see, what you're saying right now, Jarrett, and Chad said it, Chadeo said it is his last word. is that before we can take, we have to unite.
Unify.
Got to unify.
Until we, and that you both are saying the same thing. And until we unite and until we unify, I look at the comments of things when I'm in social media places.
Yeah.
And we're so divisive over foolishness that until we unite around something, I'm gonna tell you something. Y'all know I have a show.
Yep.
In the beginning of having the show, one of the things that I did that was an undercurrent of the show, I didn't tell anybody, was every guest that I had was a parent and a husband. So my original guys were all, Walt, Don Pooh, all those guys were fathers proudly and proud married Black men.
Right.
Didn't tell anybody I was doing it. I haven't even talked about it publicly. I only talk to my people in private. I'm talking publicly to you about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Start the show, I said, I'm going to subtly change the narrative because all of us can do a little something to change the narrative of what we see that we don't like. And the question is, how is everyone in their circles changing the narrative? You guys are changing the narrative. And one of the things that I love about you two gentlemen, is that what you're doing, in my opinion, is showing somebody step by step how to become successful. And we're watching the early stages of a success story. Are you going to stick around and watch it? Are you going to appreciate what you're seeing? Or are you going to just, they just, when they're going to be done? You know what I'm saying? No, they're not going to be done. You know what I'm saying? Because you got people around you that support you, even when the folks that you know most don't. You know what I'm saying? In some cases, for some of us. And that's the thing that I like about you guys.
Message.
We're watching.
Jarrett say that shit all the time, Dante. Like you speaking Jarrett language verbatim right now. Like he say that shit 100 over 100 all the fucking time, man. It just gets frustrating. It gets frustrating, and I can understand why people give up, right?
Facts.
I truly can understand, Dante, why people give up. Because
Tell me why you say that.
Because it is one thing to go to work and do what you're told and receive a paycheck, right?
Okay.
Especially if you have a air quote job of security, state job, federal job, something like that with the government, where technically you're in a union or something that
you're protected.
You are protected to a certain point where you would have to do something super atrocious to get fired.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But it is another thing to say, I believe in myself. I'm going to step out and create a problem-solving solution.
Yeah.
Here's a solution to a problem that I see within our community or in the world in general.
Yeah.
And then try to get people to support your idea, right? Too many times, too many people have had, I'm talking $1 billion ideas. How many times have you talked to people, Dante, in your lifetime that have seen products come out, seen inventions come out, and be like, I thought of that shit 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I jotted that down. I actually did that and didn't go through with it. And then somebody else comes out with it and it becomes a fucking life-changing, world-changing, you understand? Too many times we have ideas and aspirations to be better, right?
Mm-hmm.
To be better. But when we try to be better and we look to our support team, our village, which we think is our own people that would understand and relate why we're doing this and appreciate what we're bringing to the table, when that support is not there, it breaks them. It breaks them. And it's only so many no's that some people can hear before it just completely destroys the dream and their motivation to keep pushing forward. Take podcasting, for example, right? The average podcast, new podcast, they say people create podcasts and do what, 6 episodes?
6 episodes. 80% quit in 6 episodes.
There it is. Look at that.
80%.
80% quit in 6 episodes. Now, if the general public knew that, anybody, let's talk about anybody that ever wanted to create a podcast. If you knew that information before you even thought about starting a podcast, 80% of this industry will fail in 6 episodes, what is the likelihood that you will even start your journey, right? Yeah. But it's the same as the restaurant industry, right? What is the restaurant industry on a new restaurant success rate? I think it's like 85% of new restaurants fail in like the first 3 years. But guess what? There are millions of successful restaurants out there. There are millions of podcasts out there. So this is what I'm saying, right? We have to push past the rejection. Yeah, we have to push past the non-supportive allies, family members, and our village that we feel like should be there for us when they're not there for us, and say, what I'm doing is monumental. It's gonna be a game changer, and I have to see this through to the end. That's what I'm just saying. It takes fortitude.
It takes a lot.
It takes fortitude, but not everybody has this kind of fortitude.
But gotta choose to be him.
But here's my statement to you. I think that the bigger issue is that folks start businesses and don't know these things up front because they haven't educated themselves about the business that they're getting into. They just have an idea. They're just sick of their job, and they're like, I'm about to go sell waist trainers. Like, I'm out. You about to go sell this flat tummy tea. Remember that's back in the day?
Yeah,
right.
They're frustrated in their situation, not understanding that they didn't get the lessons from their situation that would actually prepare them for the entrepreneurial journey. Because if you come into the entrepreneurial journey, you know you're going to hear 20 no's. Why would you quit after 7? Why would you quit after 10? If you know it's going to take 20 no's, if you depend on your circle to be successful, you'll never be successful. If I depend on my circle to be successful, I'll never be successful, because your circle may consist of 100 people and you may need 20,000 to be successful. You need your success is going to come from outside of your network. That's the reality of we didn't know each other 3 years ago. You know what I mean? Your success will come from outside of your network. And the beautiful thing is that you two are cousins. You were born into that. But you also have an opportunity to build family as you go. That may be the people that aren't in your network today. There's somebody who it's a whole person that you don't know today that you're going to be calling brother in 3 years, and they're going to help you in ways that you don't even realize. And that's the thing about starting these businesses, is that folks haven't done the hours in advance to understand the lessons that are required. This shit ain't easy, man. And it's like, a lot of people fail, and I've talked to people who have failed 3-4 companies before they even start to see 6-7 figures in one. And that's people have failed 20 companies, you know what I'm saying, before they see it. And you can't get frustrated. One of the things that I always say is, if God blesses you to get your gift on the 10th try, wouldn't it be a shame if you quit on the 9th?
That's real.
Even hit
I mean, you a testament to that, though, Dante. You a testament to that, because we didn't know you 3 years ago, and we call you brother now.
Right now.
So look exactly how that worked out, and you're absolutely right. And that's not us being funny or like, you know what I'm saying, like trying to like amp up the situation. It's exactly what the situation is, right?
But so I do want to ask you too, though, bro. Like, you being successful and how you are, I want to keep it all the way funky. Please keep it real with us. I know you will. You know what I'm saying? But like, how does it feel when you get to a certain level of success and you still have to fucking prove yourself?
It's funny.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's a phenomenal question.
That was a good one. That's
a phenomenal question.
No, it's frustrating, but I've actually, you're talking about pushing through.
Yeah,
I've gotten to the point now where the resume speaks for itself. The portfolio speaks for itself. One of the things that I often say is, you may not know me, but you know my work. So I've gotten to the point now where you know my work. So I can show you something in a certain space, and you may be like, I never knew who did that. That was you. And once you get to that position of having a lot of wins under your belt, then it creates these opportunities where, you know, you don't have to stress about it. And that's another part of it, guys, is I don't stress about the opportunity lost. I really don't anymore. I have a certain number of of victory belts, of championship belts, where I don't necessarily stress about somebody telling me no. I'll give you an example. I'm gonna tell you something really funny from back in the day.
All right.
Tiger Woods killing it. Tiger Woods killing it on the golf course, right? NASCAR wanted to repeat that energy. They're like, we see the black folks coming to golf. We have this woman. This woman's name is Danica Patrick. We want to bring women to NASCAR through Danica Patrick.
Right.
I took to NASCAR Media Group and I was like, listen, to them and Westwood One together. I was like, I got this thing. It's a 2-day concert. Everybody loves music. I got Red Bull aerialists. They're gonna fly above and do a whole aerial show. Right. I got the petty racing where you can get in the car and you can race on the passenger side of the car. It's a whole bunch of activities. If you've never been to a NASCAR event, it's like the Super Bowl every week. They have like 100,000 people come out there, pickup trucks, RVs. Right. It's a party. I took it to them. They told me no. I was like, I got these 20 artists, 2 days. You know, we can do this. It's really dope. Da, 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 da. They said no. I said, damn. I said, okay.
Damn. Officially awake now.
He's awake now.
He's back. He's back. He's back.
He's awake now.
That was the exact energy right there.
Right.
But one of the things that's beautiful is I said, okay, Westwood One, you're a radio station. There's another radio station that's your competitor. At the time, they were called Clear Channel. I was like, hey, Clear Channel, I got this 2-day concert, 20 artists, whole thing. At the time, I was working with Floyd Mayweather on his charity, Floyd Mayweather Foundation, a whole bunch of stuff out in Vegas. And I had got these really dope relationships at the MGM Grand. And I was like, hey, I got this thing for you. You know, your competitor said, no, I want to pitch it to you. They said, bring it in, pitch it to the team, da, 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 da. 2-day concert, 20 artists. They said, Dante, we're starting this new Pandora app. It's called iHeart. Can we put our name on the event? Yes, you can. That event that one place told me no, and they thought it was a terrible idea, became iHeart Radio Music Festival. That thing ran until the
savage! I'm a savage! Oh! I'm a savage! Whatever I want, I'm going to get! Whatever!
Wait. There's no way you telling us that you helped create the iHeart Music Festival. That's fucking crazy.
And it came from a no from Westwood One and NASCAR because they wanted to have that woman audience. And I thought music was the best way to do it. And they said no in Clear Channel at the time. And they were still operating under Clear Channel. They weren't operating under
Clear Channel, right?
And, you know, they said, yeah. And that's how that became the birth of something that, you know, got in front of multiple billions of eyes. You know what I'm saying? Got the key to the city, the whole thing.
Right.
And when it started, it was at MGM Grand. The reason it was at MGM Grand was because Floyd Mayweather had the relationship at MGM Grand. I did some stuff for him at the time, and there were some introductions that was made, and we were able to facilitate it. It ended at the T-Mobile Arena in Vegas.
Right.
It started at MGM Grand, man.
Right.
So those, when you say, how do you overcome no, or how do you feel confident? How do you feel? If you know you got something, then you got to believe in it. And I believed in that. And it became so many other things. And I can tell you stories for days in my journey of how things came to life behind the scenes. And they're amazing stories. And that's just one of them. So, you know, if I would have stopped, I would have never had that opportunity of a multi-year project that became so big and became so synonymous.
But let me just ask you this, and I love that answer, right? But I believe that answer is truly relative only if you are continuing in the path of which you have already established yourself, right? Okay. For example, you were doing what you were doing, so once you get to a certain point, you can say my work speaks for itself, right?
Yes.
Now, here's the problem with everybody else that doesn't do that, right? Like an entrepreneur, like our example, right? So Jarrett's doing this and I'm doing something. I'm doing construction. So yes, I've built skyscrapers. I built the fucking World Trade Center. I've tore down Yankee Stadium, built the new Yankee. I've done monumental projects. But in podcasting, none of that shit means nothing. You don't fucking know me. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, my work speaks for itself in this arena But over here, I had to reset and technically start from ground zero. I see that a lot of people that have been successful in other venues, right? Other aspects of their life, try new things. And technically, you have to reprove yourself now, start at the bottom and start the grind all over again. Yes, you still have certain relationships that you can kind of like rely on to kind of give you a little bit of a running start. But technically, you're starting all over again because in this new area, nobody knows your work, or your work is not transferable to what you're doing in the moment. What do you got to say about that?
See, now, Jared, we gotta talk to Chadeo, and I gotta take him back to a couple decades.
Talk to me.
Just because he's waxing the floor, and just because he's painting the fence, that doesn't mean that what you're doing is not transferable, because Danielson didn't realize that when he was doing wax on, wax off, and paint the wall, he didn't know he was actually learning karate. Yeah, and that's a Karate Kid reference. So, message what's up happening is what you said is that you were in construction.
Yeah.
You worked for the MoMA. You worked on building 20-story, 40-story buildings. What that tells me is that you understand the patience of building. And what you're doing right now is building. It may
be ready.
Who understands how to build something more than somebody that was in construction, that understand that angles matter, that understands, how do you take something from blueprint? Because this is what you're doing right now. How do you take it from blueprint to build to an actual building? And right now you're in the build stage. You guys had the blueprint. You're in the build stage right now, and you are going to eventually have a building. So what I say is, you've got 20 plus years in over here. You've got to find the transferable opportunity over here. And that's the beauty.
This motherfucker don't miss.
No, he's fucking.
That's
going crazy,
he's on it now.
Now he's on point.
He's on it. But to me, that's the beauty of what you do and what you're doing, is that sometimes we feel like we got to recreate the wheel. Sometimes you just got to make sure that wheel still got tread on it and figure out how to use it over here. And that's the key to a lot. When you take a look at my journey and you're like, okay, he went from fashion with the Gucci group to music, Sony BMG. If you look at what I'm doing now, it's still pretty much the same thing, even though it's totally different industries. We're just figuring out new ways to do some of the old things that we did. And that's it. And that's what I would say works for you guys, is that your combined years of experience, you know what I'm saying, in building things. You come from an office setting, Jarrett. You come from a construction setting, but also, Chadeo, you got a military background. All of these things are part of your story that when you implement it into where you are today, it's actually useful.
Drop the mic.
I'm gonna shut the fuck up, Dante. I'm about to shut the fuck up for the rest of the interview. That's drop the mic moment.
No, we having such a good conversation, but I know you said 7:30. You got something. Do we have time?
I actually pushed it. I got about another 30. About another 30 minutes. Okay, so let's go to 8 if we need to. Let's go to 8. Let's go to 8 if we need to. I appreciate it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So let's talk about some of the things. All right. So now, all of these areas that you're working with right now, you're doing game trailers, you're doing a bunch of innovative things in the space, right? Like what other verticals are you trying to branch out to? What are some of the other opportunities that you see that need to have a new way of doing things?
That's a good question. So we are identifying a lot of different ways to work with traditional things.
Bring the coals.
So I'll give you an example. What does it look like taking gaming
black tongs
and actually using those gaming insights in traditional sports? We already talked about the Nickelodeon Super Bowl with SpongeBob. That was something that we took from gaming and took it to traditional sports. And we did some amazing things there. Music, you know what I'm saying? We did Lil Nas X in Roblox and Post Malone in Pokemon, and we did Travis Scott in Fortnite. and all of these Ariana Grande and Rift Tour, all of these musical elements we did in video game environments. You know, my question now becomes to you, what does it look like when a festival takes place in a gaming environment? You know what I mean? That's what we have coming up next. So what can you imagine Coachella? Or can you imagine, I'm giving you guys hints as to what you can start to expect to look for. Can you imagine the Super Bowl and they have the halftime show with Kendrick? It goes to commercial after Kendrick, and you can go to Fortnite, and then you got a halftime show with Rihanna inside of Fortnite.
Oh, that would be
That's
crazy.
crazy.
That would be, yeah.
NFL to get when you have the kid on this side, and then you have the people watching on linear. So now during those commercial breaks where the concert's running in the video game, the NFL is making money off of the video game concert and the advertising that's happening. So they're making money twice over the same time.
Right.
And you're now catching you're now catching a different demo of kids that, you know, you can do a lot with there. You know, simultaneously to having a simulcast like a SpongeBob on a Nickelodeon or a Disney Plus or something like that. So now the Super Bowl game and the halftime show is going to be making money over money over money over money. That's what you're going to start seeing in the future. Did we create that? No, but did we identify it as a need? And all of a sudden now we're just talking dollars and cents at this point. You can now make money 4 times over off of the same IP, 5 times over off of the same IP. What does that look like? That's what the future of some of this looks like. I'll give you another example. What does it look like when gamers decide to leave a legacy and change education? When I say change education, they say that you learn 3 ways. Yeah. You learn by seeing, you learn by doing, or you learn by hearing. Some people don't learn by hearing. They go to a lecture and they zoom out and go to sleep. Like, I'm not here for this. I got to do it. Like, I'm a hands-on person. You know what I'm saying? You were in construction, Chadeo. You know that most people you work with are handsome people.
I'm a hands-on guy. I'm a hands-on guy.
And that's how that works for you.
Yeah.
You know?
Pause. He paused. I said pause, nigga.
I was waiting.
Of all the shit you want to fucking catch, you want to catch that?
He's a hands-on. I didn't like his tone.
Hands-on was nasty.
I didn't like his tone, Dante.
He's awake now, Dante. This motherfucker right here, man.
So we just like, whoa, let me stop that sentence. My bad. You couldn't get that one back. You couldn't get that one back. Let me stop that one too. Don't leave that whole sentence alone, bro. Let me leave that whole sentence alone. He back. Let me say that. He back. Let me just leave that.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, so, you know, just kind of looking and understanding that, what happens when you use AI, generative AI, and CGI, and all of a sudden now your teacher is The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. And you can talk to him like you would through AI, and he now is your teacher. And we're able to control that teacher communicating with you through CGI and through motion capture.
Right.
And because what ends up happening, you get tired of the repetition of your teacher. Now, imagine this. You're learning percentages in math. You hate learning percentages using sugar and flour through the classroom. So imagine if you're using percentages and you select your teacher for the day and you pick Steph Curry. And Steph Curry just hit 8 out of 10 3-pointers. What's that percentage? Well, I know basketball. I know Steph. 8 out of 10, that's 80. What are you talking about? That may not even resonate with them with flour and sugar. But when you're talking to me in ways that I understand, that I embrace, I can learn easier. School didn't change for me. It didn't change for y'all. It's not changing for your kids. It didn't change for our parents. It didn't change for our grandparents. You had a teacher in front of the room. You had the blackboard. You sat in the chairs and you watched. The same setting is the same setting is the same setting. What happens when we change that setting? Now, let me also just add a little bit of this for you. What happens if within that classroom now, instead of just getting an A or a B, you get an A, you get the new Jordans.
Right.
Message. You get a B. They say that what happens with kids, oftentimes kids don't eat at home in certain areas of this country, kids don't eat at home. What happens if when you get a B, you get a week full of Subway? Message. Then change the way that our kids learn. the way that we connect with them, the way that we communicate with them using modern technologies. When you say what's next, these are some of the things that you probably never heard discussed that are happening in high-level boardrooms of discussion that, you know, we want to see implemented into the future of what we're doing. So these are examples. I can give you examples around music. I can give you examples around entertainment. There's a lot of things that gamers and production houses in Unreal Engine and Unity and some of these other gaming engines are going to impact and influence. And one of the things that I want to share with you guys, there's two things that I want to share. This is one of them. Imagine if the NFL decides to come back and say, hey, we want to target women. We're not going to say any names, but if they come back and say, hey, we want to recreate that SpongeBob moment, but we want to target women and little girls. There was a movie that came out that was absolutely huge. It had a whole bunch of women wearing pink. Imagine if there is something in the future where you got Super Bowl driven around that character. She used to be a doll for the little girls when
Right.
Come on, I want to say the damn name.
No. We're not gonna say it. We're not gonna say it. We're not gonna say it.
I ain't
We ain't
saying
gonna say it.
But y'all know what it is.
We know what it is.
Y'all
we
better
know
know,
what it
you
is.
better know what it is.
Yeah, we know what
But
it is.
imagine creating that and actually utilizing that, not necessarily in the gameplay, but the elements around the game. This is where now you want to tie into females if you're the NFL. We've got the guys. They've got us. We ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? But how do you now start to amplify your audience and tap into females, for example? These are things that we're going to see. One of the things that, and you guys, I've talked to you guys about 9B on just a whole separate share for a very first time. I've talked to you guys about 9B. 9B is a collective studio, and it's a concept art studio. And it was founded by three Black gentlemen. One of them, his name is Aldous Hodge. Aldous played Hawkman and Black Adam.
Hawkman, that's a fact. Aldous is, I like Aldous. Yeah,
Aldous. He was in Hidden Figures, and he played Jim Brown and Muhammad Ali, and he played a lot of different characters. Most recently, he was in the #1 show on Prime Video, Cross. He played Alex Cross, which Morgan Freeman played before, and Tyler Perry played
right,
before.
right.
#1 show on Prime Plus. He's got a creative studio called 9B with my boy Mike Uwandi and Philip Boutte. And they have done amazing work. One of the things that we did is we said, hey, we're going to go create this collective of studios. We now have 13 studios under the ESPAT umbrella, and they all do very unique things. And one of the things that these guys do is concept art. Concept art meaning sketch, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or do it on the board. They take it from 2D to 3D to a lot of movies that you've seen, a lot of video game characters that you've seen. And I want to share what they do. And they are the newest member of ESPAT Studios and Collective. And they are absolutely amazing. They were behind a lot of your concept work with Wicked, Blue Beetle. I can keep going down the list. They've done amazing stuff. But I think that you guys got just a little hit of some of the stuff that they do. I love.
We about to play.
Well, listen. Promo it up. Promo it up, Dante. Go ahead and promo it up. And when you finish your promo, we gonna cue it up, man. Let them know what's about to come up right now.
Perfect. And what we're gonna do is we are gonna show the amazing studio 9B, who's now a part of ESPAT Collective. 9B is the first Black and BIPOC concept art studio in America, with over 150 creatives around the world. They're absolutely amazing. And they are now joining the family. So when you asked earlier, Chadeo, how do we make sure that our people are at the table? You're now seeing what it looks like when Black folks collaborate, when Black folks don't compete, but when we come together to build, it can be absolutely amazing. They believe in that mission. I believe in that mission. And with our colleagues and our allies, we're growing something that in time is going to be Viacom. It's going to be Disney. I don't mean to sound like yay, Kind of out
That's real.
Talk your shit, bro. Talk that shit.
We've got 13 now to have 13 companies that are operating under this umbrella, and they're very large house studios. Is humbling. It's amazing. And I want to thank the guys from 9B for trusting in what we're doing and what we're building and joining us on this ride. So everybody sit back. You get to see their work, and you understand that they support me. I support them. When you see us, you see them. But when you see all of us, you understand that you see more than a title. We're all one big family.
That's a fact.
In everybody.
And just know that you're seeing it here first. Again, he could have took it to any place else. He could have took it to Forbes and all these other names, but he bought it right here to More Than a Title. We dropping the world premiere exclusive. Hayes, cue it up. Here it is, 9B highlights trailer. Let's go, man. Let's
Outstanding.
You're lost.
Pants.
Oh, you goddamn right. I want to be counted. Do that shit. Do that shit. Do it.
Oh, was that a threat?
Some of us could be killed.
No, not there. We almost had it. I was like, you gotta hit the horns. But bro, man, this is effing incredible, man. Like for real, man. Shout out to 9B, shout out to you, man. Shout out to ESPAT. But like, so is the goal, and you don't gotta give us too much insight, you know what I'm saying? But just from brother to brother, it sounds like you're building like an agency sound, like pretty much to be able to execute anything, but mostly with all black talent around you, right? So you're acquiring black businesses that are concept arts, graphic designs. We're gonna make sure we have CGI, everything in that, so we can accompany or produce for the highest RFP or whatever business it is, right? So how does that look like? How do you make sure that you keep us together? Because when we work together, it's a lot of BS sometimes. You know what I mean, bro? Yep. So how do you make that so it's all one collective vision? We all eat. How does that work? Or what advice would you give somebody trying to do the same?
And we're definitely more so a studio than an agency. So we are that studio house. And one of the things that we do is that we don't get folks that overlap in talent. So I'm not building a basketball team and just going to go get 5 centers and telling them to start. We got a point guard, we got a shooting, we got, so we've got, small, big, and forwards and center. So everybody plays a slightly different position, and that allows for creative competition without fighting internally for opportunities. So everybody brings, and I'll be frank with you. We've got, if there are 2 studios that do something similar, they operate at different price points so that we don't do business. So we'll get somebody who will say, hey, we'll do something for 300,000. And then there's somebody who will say, we won't do anything less for than 2 million. So now we've got 2 different price points, so we don't have to leave any crumb on the table. And that's how we view it. How we build something. And we've left so much on the table in the past. How do we ensure that we're not leaving anything on the table? And that, and the other side of the business that we are, and we always say this with pride. The original BET studio that was down in Washington D.C. before they moved to New York, that's one of our studios. So we took over the original BET studio in Washington.
Nice,
crazy,
nice.
That's all part of
it,
keeping black type of agenda. And, those are the things that we build upon. But not only are we creative as far as a creative studio house, we're also distro. So we always say that not only will we create it, but we're the plug. So I was sitting around one day and I was like, hey, why have I never seen a video game trailer at the movie theater?
Right.
I've never seen it. And I called them up just randomly, like, why don't you do that? They were like, we don't have connection. I was like, we do the trailers. We're the largest studio that produces those video game trailers. We want to own that business.
Right.
We can set the price and we want to own it. They gave it to us. So 95% of the movie theaters in America, we are the exclusive provider of video game trailers.
Oh,
Message.
So not only do we
fucking
create
go, man. Let's fucking go, man.
crazy.
I love this shit, man.
Where it was like, we've crafted it and we looked at everything that we felt was missing. What ends up happening with black businesses, we can't get money. Well, now I can print my own money because, hey, company X, we just won your RFP, but we can also distro it as well, all in one house. So
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Amen.
One-stop shop, baby. One-stop shop. Because we've had conversations about that. And a lot of the conversations that we've had, including our brother, and we're going to call him brother because he's, another one that's just constantly in contact with us, picks up the phone, gives us insight. You know what I'm saying? Nate Parker, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to the bro, Nate, right? Also a big movie star. Yeah. The key thing that he said to us is, yeah, you got it, but do you own the distribution? Who's distributing it, right?
What are you doing?
How are we putting this thing out, right? So by you saying that again, it just solidifies the message that we have the product. We know we got the product. Now we have to own how we get the product out to ensure that the product gets out.
Get seen.
Yeah.
And don't stop at one vertical. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're talking about movie theater. Another one of the studios under our umbrella is Movers and Shakers. You may have never heard of Movers and Shakers, but if you look them up, I think it's moversandshakers.co. I think it is their website. They are the largest TikTok agency in the world. And not only are they the largest, they're the largest by 5x over the second place company.
Wow.
Damn! They're called Movers and Shakers. They're also a part of this collective. So now, brand, we're creating for you. We can amplify it on TikTok with the largest actual agency, creative agency, is a part of our studio. A lot of people think that Twitch is the largest network in North America because Twitch is so big.
Right.
But Twitch
is for gaming, Twitch can't be beat when it comes to streaming and gaming.
You're wrong. Twitch
Who
is
beats
actually, them? Twitch, I'm about to tell you. Twitch is number 3. Number two is a network of people, just people. Number 2 is Roblox. Believe it or not.
Roblox. Okay.
Number 1 is a company I guarantee you've never heard. Tell your fact checker to look it up. Tell them to Google this.
Google it, Doc.
Okay. Shirley Strawberry.
Okay, wake him up. Wake him up. Tell them to Google Enthusiast Gaming, number 1 in North America on ComScore.
Wow.
Enthusiast Gaming, number 1. You can put North America ComScore, and you'll see ever since 2022, Enthusiast Gaming has been number 1.
Right.
And
wow.
You see it, Jarrett?
I'm just checking
He
up
bringing
right
it
now.
up, and Dante, I'm gonna keep it real. Like, I'm a fucking gamer. Cuzzo's a gamer, and I obviously we know about Roblox, but I've never heard of Enthusiast Gaming. I'm just being honest with you. Twitch is for us. You know, I know about Twitch, right? Because everybody streams on Twitch. You know, Twitch for us is like, you understand? Roblox, we know. But I've never heard of Enthusiast Gaming, and which is
I see
crazy.
they got multiple brands.
Yeah, wow.
20 plus websites, 20, 50 plus
you
YouTube
learn
channels,
something new every fucking
200
day.
plus content creators, 8 esport rosters.
Wow.
They own teams and everything. And if you Google Enthusiast Gaming and then put ESPAT TV, if you Google that, you'll see that we are their studio. So all the stuff that they create, we're their studio, and they're #1 in North America. So we are a distro. So if you Google that, Jarrett, and you put Enthusiast Gaming ESPAT TV, you'll see the announcement. We've been their studio for multiple years here.
AI says Enthusiast Gaming and ESPAT TV partner to create gaming and esports content. The partnership combines Enthusiast Gaming distribution capabilities with ESPAT TV's production of gaming and entertainment content.
Wow.
So we create the content and have distro partners in multiple places. I can tell you this, the way we're going through this for North America, I can tell you the same thing for the UK, the same thing for Asia Pac, the same thing for Africa. We've got all of that. Oh, and somebody just posted it. That's beautiful.
That's a fact check. New ratings place Enthusiast Gaming in the top property in the United States by the largest margin to date since the first achieving this milestone in January 2020.
Shirley Strawberry strikes for the first time today.
There we go. And that to me, that's where it's when I, like I said to you guys earlier, you may not know me, but you know my work, and if you don't, you will. We're quietly building something over here that people are not championing and cheering for in certain areas, and then there's certain areas where people get it. And I always love the people that get it and understand. The people that don't eventually will. The thing that's funny about our folks is that we don't start to celebrate stuff until you put a number to it. So if I was to come out and say, "Oh, we're doing $2 billion," people are like, "Oh, who is this guy? He's successful."
Right.
We don't talk about numbers. We're showing you impact, and we're letting you figure out that the numbers are there, but we just haven't come out with that yet. We're showing you actual impact, and we're educating folks along the way. You guys are gamers and didn't know about Enthusiasts. Now you do. You know.
Facts.
This is major, man. It's mad question, y'all. We talking business shit. Cause now I'm just getting close. I'm just getting warmed up.
Now you warming them up, Dante. This is how, Dante, this is how we end up having a 4-hour fucking podcast. This is how we end up, seriously, like,
just regular
because you know, we have a guest like yourself come on and drop so many gems. Not only education, inspiration, motivation, right? And it's just the curiosity, because our culture needs to hear this, right? Dante, do you know how many kids, forget adults, play fucking games on a daily basis? Do you know how many fucking parents are so upset at these fucking games, Roblox and Minecraft and all that, because their wallet is, their credit cards is going, because these kids are going fucking, this is an untapped industry that can provide careers, right? Careers for some of our youth that love playing video games, that would love to design video games, that would love to draw for, that would love to just be a process of something that they love to do, and don't even know that this is a career path that you can be successful at.
Absolutely.
This is what we have to hear about.
You had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
Listen, I'm gonna trip you guys out, Jarrett. Since you got your phone out, I need you to look something else up. I need you to go to YouTube. I need you to go to YouTube, and I need you to put in KDA. A lot of people have never even heard of KDA. Put in KDA and then put League of Legends.
KDA is your kill death assist ratio. Don't talk to me about KDA, brother. Hold on. Time out. Now certain things I don't know about, but KDA I know about, because one of the questions I was going to ask you, which you went past it, was you involved in a Lil Nas X association with League of Legends with the creation of the Cassante character and things of that nature. When Lil Nas X had the whole thing with League of Legends, I'm a League of Legends guy. Don't ever talk to me about KDA. We go crazy for League of Legends over here. This is a League of Legends house, so I know what KDA is. Kill, death, assist. That's what it stands for. That's the ratio of how many times, how many motherfuckers you kill, how many assists you got, and how many times you got killed by. I know what KDA is. I'm a League of Legends fanatic. My guy is Master Yi, and we go crazy.
I love it. Now listen, I'm gonna take you somewhere else.
Here we go.
Somewhere totally different. No, we were not a part of that with Lil Nas X. We did Lil Nas X.
But you know about that campaign, right?
Absolutely.
Okay,
now,
okay.
KDA, as you defined it, is correct. But the KDA that I'm referring to on YouTube, if you pull it, there we go. Oh, no. Not that one. Not that one. There's a different KDA.
Yes.
Now, if you go to YouTube and if you pull up KDA, it's actually a group, a singing group.
Right.
Okay? So KDA is actually a singing group. Madison Beer, I think Kiki Palmer, a couple different ladies are in KDA, the musical group. Now, and they are actual characters utilizing League of Legends environment. And the reason I asked Jarrett, Jarrett to pull it up was because I wanted him to tell you how many views that has on YouTube. The reason I said that is because we're talking about opportunity that people may not understand that they have, and your music career may not be taking off.
624 million.
Yeah, that's one song from a group that probably 99% of the people that are listening have never heard of in their life. And they're over half a bill.
So now let me add to that. So now that we're talking about KDA as a music group, now I'm gonna relate it back to League of Legends because I know that. So so I thought you was just talking about regular KDA. So not only are they a music group, but a lot of the characters have KDA skins. Right, they have KDA skins, right, and they have KDA characters with the music videos attached to them, because there's also another group called Pentakill, right? Called Pentakill, right? So I'm on Dante when we talk this type of talk. I'm on this type of talk, baby. I know this type of shit, right? So you know, like, so one of the most famous characters, one of the gaming chairs that I actually sit in is Ari. Right, KDA All Out Ari, right? You know what I'm saying? So they'll have the skins and the characters, and they actually do full music videos with the characters based off of the singing group, and it's absolutely phenomenal. When I talk about making money, the gaming chair that I normally sit in, that comes from whatever that Secret Labs, that Ari KDA chair, that shit is $700 fucking just for the gaming chair. So when we talk about bringing this thing full circle, like you said, about like just introducing something and tying this thing all the way around, and how this thing can monetize from so many different aspects, I am a true believer, because like I said, one, we support League of Legends. We have League of Legends products. We have League of Legends dolls and shit up here. Those little dolls up here, Max, you see them up there? Those are all League of Legends dolls and stuff like that. So I understand exactly what you're talking about, and I'm telling you, it's even with the money that it's made right now, I still think that it's an untapped market. That if you guys can truly tap into this market, you will legally be able to say, I print money. Like legally, no, I have a printer in the fucking garage, and we just print whatever we want to spend, because it's insane at this point. No, for real.
And the beauty of it is that you can still walk down the street, because likely people here won't know who you are. But if you go over to Asia, you can't walk down the street because you're a superstar over there.
Right.
You don't even realize it. You can go to the grocery store and still have your life here. So that's the beauty of it, is that they love our culture in some of the areas around the world. And you can be successful in this space doing something that is not catching on right now for you,
right?
New York City. But if you actually get to the gaming environment, it may be huge over in Hong Kong. You don't
a lot of our listeners too. We got a lot of artists, right? A lot of artists that come on the show. A lot of artists that are coming on the show. A lot of stuff. So, what advice would you give to the artists to get into that world, right? How should they connect their brand and IP in the music world to the gaming? What advice would you give towards that?
Great question. Believe it or not, a lot of these video games have music departments that are very easy to get in touch with.
Right.
Okay.
You would be surprised how many music departments. Toa Dunn is my boy. He's over at Riot Music, which Riot is League of Legends.
Riot is League of Legends, correct?
Yeah, League. So there's folks who you can just go on LinkedIn and say, hey, you know, here's a little plug for people that are doing music. GTA, Grand Theft Auto 6. GTA 6 right now is creating playlists. Right. Now. So if you
message.
And if you want your music to be on a playlist in GTA, they're looking now for different types of playlists. So there's opportunities right now where all of a sudden, you as an artist are getting paid as your music is being picked up and folks are listening to it. So if you're not getting the traction that you want on any of the DSPs, you know what I'm saying? Always think that gaming and gaming music opportunities exist, and you can get on these playlists much easier than you think. Look for the head of music, anything that has to do with music with any of your major publishers, even music that can be used for trailers. You know, so it's not just songs, it's music that can be used for trailers. We've seen in the past where Jay-Z executive directed one year, Pharrell executive directed, I think it was 2K or
2K. Yeah, 2K.
We've seen Steve Stout do it with United Masters. You know what I'm saying? Where they worked with the NBA and did 2K. We've seen this type of independent artist opportunity in the gaming space, and it continues to exist. You don't have to be with a major label and work with the sync department. You can be your own sync department and make the calls and do the legwork and start to get your stuff. I know publishers or studios that have picked up folks' music that may be 9 years old, you know what I'm saying? And they just do little tweaks to it. They just slow it down a little bit or speed it up a little bit. Right. It ends up sounding a little different, but it works with the game title that you have the opportunity.
Right.
So that's a thing also.
No, they wouldn't even think, most artists are not even thinking of that from a distribution perspective, and play games more than likely. A lot of people play 2K, the MLB, whatever game you're playing, you see it's breaking artists right now. How many times have you heard an artist underground like, oh shit, I kind of like this shit, and you go to it like there's so many different avenues. I say that to say there's a lot of avenues for us to break our music that we're not considering. Make sure, like you said, like what Dante said, do the legwork. Go to LinkedIn, head of music, look at every single publisher, send your music out there. What is the worst that can happen? It's the same shit that's happening right now.
They
the best that can happen and change your life.
Facts.
And,
so
and,
that
and
makes sure you listen.
The funny thing is that we talk about TikTok artists. You can become a millionaire as a TikTok artist with a 15-second clip that all of a sudden is catchy, that picks up, and the labels are signing and giving $1 million deals off of quote unquote TikTok artists. Do you know the repetition of your song in a gaming environment? How many times did you get on and play League? You know what I'm saying? And heard the sounds of League or the music attached to it. That's consistent repetition of your music globally instantly. Yeah. So
do you notice, Andre? I don't know how is the rate for that? Because they have artists listening to this like, oh shit, Dante cooking. Like, all right, cool. I reach out to the publisher. I got in touch with the people. How do I negotiate my rate? Because once again, like we said earlier, how do I know the value of my talent?
Right.
Is it just a flat fee type of thing?
Right.
Do I expect a 500,000 thing up front? And then let's say, for instance, I'm getting 1 billion streams on this one fucking game.
Right.
How do you make sure your business is straight from that perspective?
That's a great question. There's multiple ways that you can structure a deal, right?
Okay.
You can take a dollar up front. Usually the breakdown of that dollar is how many projected users, gamers, do they project over a period of time? And then they'll basically break that down and say, okay, we expect over the next year and a half, 2 years of lifetime of this game, while it's still hot, we expect X number of gamers to use this. And then we've got this reoccurring traffic and new traffic trending. And this is our expectation. And then they break down the metric of what that looks like. And you would be looking at that the same way that you would look at a YouTube payment. right? Or a Spotify payment. What's the per use? I always tell folks, request a higher CPM.
Right.
The life of the game. Never take that upfront dollar.
Yeah, I would never. I'm gonna be honest with you. I would never take upfront money.
It'd be a red flag.
I would never
Immediate
take
red flag
upfront money.
Yeah,
Give me the back end. No, pause.
Yep. Cautious.
Hey, yo. Hey, yo.
Give him the back
Yeah,
end. No, I hate it.
I tried to catch it.
Nah.
I tried to catch that shit.
Nah.
It sounds like, oh no, he's gonna kill me on. He's gonna fucking kill me on that one. That was
You earned that one, bro. You earned that one.
Yo,
That was
Dante, that was disgusting. Give me the back end is crazy.
That was nasty work, bro. That was nasty work, bro. That was.
I hate it.
That was different.
I hate it.
Different.
Yeah, we could go with Greece right now. I love it.
Got 2-in-1 show, man. It's the Den Dudes.
Yo, Dante, do you still have more time, bro? I know it's like 8. You know what I'm saying?
I just wanted to say this to you, Dante. Again, you've given out a lot of information.
A lot of game.
No, you've given out like just tremendous amount of information, right?
Yeah.
Tremendous amount of information. But what I'm getting mostly from this message is anybody that really wants to be successful, you got to do the legwork.
Facts.
You have got to stop relying on other people to kind of make your dream come true. This is what I'm getting, right?
And stop making excuses.
Stop making excuses, right? You got to get out there and do the legwork, do the research, right? Reach out to people. And even if you get to know, you have to continually pound the pavement, right? To try to make your dream possible, because nobody's going to believe in you more than you're going to believe in yourself. This is the message that I'm getting. And although what you might be doing in the moment might not seem mainstream or popular, right? You can keep going and create something so special that it becomes one of a kind. Like, this is the only entity that even looks like this. And AD Dolph came on,
shout out to AD.
and said almost the same thing, where he was like, when his product got to a certain level and they wanted to put it in supermarkets, he was like, nah, I don't want to be on the shelf because everybody else is on the shelf.
I got my own lemonade stand.
There it is. I'm going to set up across the street.
Yeah.
Right? Because if everybody's fighting over that one shelf, the shelf is only so big. It's only one section. It's only one lane, whatever, lane 16, 15, where this is going to be placed at. Everybody's fighting for that same spot. But if I go across the street and put a little bit more work in and a little bit more effort in, once I create this lane, now I am the only person here. Now, when you want this product, you can't go to the supermarket.
That's a fact.
You gotta come to me. And I think that's what you're creating over there, Dante. You understand, with the 9B collaboration with the ESPAT, you guys are creating a lane where nobody is doing what you are doing, right? You are creating something so special that, and it's caught on already, clearly.
Absolutely.
But when it hits mainstream, like you said, you're gonna become the next Viacom, the next Disney, because it's going to be too big to ignore. It's gonna have too much traction and too much support, and you're gonna have the track record behind it to back this thing, that it's gonna be undeniable at that point. And that's, I think, when the reward is. We need to start playing the long game, because too many people are playing the short game. And they want the instant. That's what we call this new generation. So just so you know, the IG generation, the instant gratification kids. You want it now. You want it now. You don't want to work for it. You don't want to build it, right? You, like you said, in construction, you don't want to build the foundation, then the first floor, then the second floor. You want to build the whole fucking building at the same time.
Hey, Chadeo, they want to build the 30th floor. And ain't no foundation, and ain't no floor 1 to 29. They ready to do the 30th floor.
Right.
What about the other floors?
Only penthouses type shit. Yeah. So I think that, for everybody listening, and this man, like, again, like, we always tell you we're gonna have phenomenal guests.
That's a fact.
We say this shit every fucking episode. But once again, like it is impossible to listen to this episode and not walk away with gems that you can take and apply to any industry that you are currently in right now. To anything that you are doing to help better yourself in your position right now. So I mean, like, this is what we are talking about, right?
Yeah.
He came on this platform and he gave us exclusives and he's dropping gems. But the only way that this becomes mainstream is if you guys, the listeners, right? The users, people that are tuned in, even if it doesn't benefit you in the moment, spread this information to other people that might need it. Give it to other people that are interested in it and might not be looking at this show.
Your homie rap, your brother rap,
right.
Somebody knows something.
Somebody play
Send
a game.
the clip to them. Somebody's playing the game.
Right.
Our generation
Somebody
was told that's just a game.
Somebody
it's
draws.
not just a game anymore.
Right. Yeah.
It's not just a game.
Yeah.
And so, like, what I also got from you too, bro, to piggyback what Cuzzo was saying, is you gotta skate to where the puck is going. Yeah. Identify the problem. You took the risk, right, of saying, hey, you know what? Having the idea, say, why are they not doing game trailers?
Fact.
Why are they not doing that? I'm going to step into this lane, did the market research, saw there wasn't anybody in the lane, and made the call.
Right.
And made the call and say, you know, why don't you have it?
Right.
Guess what? I just happen to have it.
Right.
Put yourself in a position to win and build the team around you. Look for those that got the same mindset. When you go up at this level the way same way we are, Dante, I'm pretty sure it's only a few people that you can have these conversations with.
Facts.
And the ones that you can, you cherish them.
Yes.
You cherish them. So I'll give you love for that, bro, for always pouring into us and giving us game. Because I'm going to give y'all real shit for the listeners. Me and Dante had a talk on like a Tuesday. All three of us had a talk on a Thursday that's not recorded. And Dante just giving us game. We had Chris come on. Shout your praises. Chris P. Community media. Shout to bro.
Yeah, Chris shouted you out as well, man. And not only did he shout you out, but the most important thing for you to understand, Dante, is when people are speaking about you in these rooms, in these conversations, when you are not present, it's on the same level.
That's a fact.
Every person that we have spoke to that has ever brought up your name has never diminished your name. Am I lying, Cuzzo?
Yeah.
And Dante, you've met me in person. You know how I move. You know I'm not. I don't.
You know it's home. Shout out to Bino. Shout out to.
Oh, and you know my homie Bino.
Oh yeah, of course.
Right.
Yeah. So he was shocked when he saw us together. He was like, "That's my guy for decades."
Right.
We go back to childhood. He was telling me.
Right. Yeah. So again, like, you know, real recognize real, right? Like I said, when we sing your praises, it's not to, like, you know, gas you up.
Yeah.
To where it's like we trying to blow smoke up your ass type shit. You know what I'm saying? We are here saying, like, yo, you are a fucking unicorn, bro. And we appreciate you, bro. And we gotta tell you that we appreciate you, bro, because our culture needs more of you. We need more Dantes. We need more people that are gonna move in a manner like you, because that's the only way that as a culture we are going to not only survive but start to thrive and move forward, bro.
That's real, man.
And that's real, bro. So I just, you know,
salute, man.
You know,
salute.
We got to give you your flowers, man. I wasn't even expecting this. Dante, I knew you was going to say some shit, but I'm going to be honest with you, bro. I wasn't even expecting nowhere near this type of fucking conversation.
It's exactly what we needed to hear when we needed to hear it.
I appreciate that. I'm always humbled. Y'all took the words, you know, y'all nailed it. You know what I'm saying? I always say this to folks, and I'll leave your folks with this as well. You don't want to be somebody who's chasing the wave. You don't want to just be somebody who's just riding the wave. We got to figure out a way to get ahead of the wave, and then we let the wave come to us.
Listen, man. So listen, Dante, before you get out of here,
yes, sir.
We know for a fact, because it happens every show, but especially after this shit, there's gonna be people that watch this show, listen to this show, that want to get in contact with you. Tell the people, please, right now, what is the best ways to get in contact, not only with you, but within your with your organization, and find out extra information about what you're doing and what your organization is doing, to see how they can support you and try to work with you. What's the best way to get in contact with you?
You can catch me directly. I'm always on LinkedIn, and I actually do respond So you can pull me up. Obviously, my name is just pull me up that way on LinkedIn. So it's under Dante Simpson. You can always pull. I'm on the gram quite a bit. I personally don't do TikTok and I definitely don't do X. I had to let that go, no question. But I do the gram, so you can catch me there at DSA_boss, DSA_boss, and you can catch the team. We actually do check our info email. So if you're trying to get in touch with ESPAT, the team, they actually check that every 2 days. So if you do info@espat.tv, that's info@espat.tv. Our team will check that. Just put in the subject why you're contacting. Obviously, anything that comes through this show, we treat it like family. So I'm not a stranger. You can get in touch with me, and I'm always here to help. You know, I mentor. I do all of that type of stuff, and I do make time for folks just to give them a little bit of wisdom in their industries as well. So don't be, as my grandma used to say, don't be shamed. You want to hit me up, you can hit me up. Don't be nervous, don't be shamed. Hit me up. It's all good. It's all love with me.
And that's what it is, man. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to say it again, cuzzo.
Can
I say it again? Another phenomenal episode. Another phenomenal episode with another phenomenal guest, our brother. And we are proud to call him our fucking brother. Dante Simpson came through, man. Once again, dropped gems, dropped jewels, gave y'all education, gave y'all information, gave y'all inspiration. But all of that leads back to what we say every single fucking show, man. You got to get off your ass. You got to get off your ass. You got to believe in yourself. You got to be willing to take that risk. You got to be willing to hear a no, a second no, a third no, a fourth no, a fifth no, and you got to keep going because that one yes can change your life, which reiterates what we say every single fucking episode. The dream is free.
But the hustle is sold separately, y'all.
You know what it is,
y'all
man.
Thursday, man. Dante, we out of here, man.
What you know about me?